I'm out here in these streets. What's happening, good people? MJ, I see you in the comments. I remember one time somebody was watching a live stream. It was probably Setai. Setai forgot he had the live stream up from like earlier in the day. And then all of a sudden I started talking. He was like, it creeped him out or something like that. All right. I had to commit. There's no thumbnail. I wasn't sure what I was talking about. I got a topic list at least now. But I had to commit, man. 2 hours notice. Hopefully, we make it do what it do, right? What you got to say, Black woman?
Ill prepared.
Ill prepared.
Yeah.
Is that being ill prepared?
You're not. Are you prepared?
You wasn't listening. I just said I didn't have one. I got topics now.
Quesadillas, guys.
Yeah.
My wife's a hater, man. Blue shirt.
No, literally.
Literally. What's been happening with y'all? Let's we forget that live streams are for hanging out. They're not for super structured videos. So I could chat with y'all. Y'all could chat with me, and we could, we could build. We could build something meaningful. Oh man! All right, on the last live stream, I talked about these radios. A couple of things from that. Just give you a quick update. The TID H3. I reached out to the company and I was like, "Hey, yo, what's down?" And they was like, "Sure. Would you like a H3?" And I was like, I ain't told them I already had an H3. I told them, no, let me get the H8, which is the bigger version of this one with like one less feature. It does not have the programmable USB-C slots right here. But I've been figuring this stuff out with my man from the Cleese Report. And we are entertaining starting a channel surrounding comms. I'm not going to say anything, but I think I'm not going to say the name yet, but we've come up with a name, an idea. We still need to kind of like hash it out and all that jazz. But I think it would be cool to talk about it from kind of like a beginner standpoint. I was thinking about a show situation, not like an actual show, but just going live a couple times a month. And I'm hoping that you guys would be interested enough to come and check it out. Maybe subscribe to the channel. I know we need at least 100 subscribers to be able to go live. That's what he said. So I should say I know that. That's what he said. But that sounds right. So we're going to do that. I'm kind of looking forward to that because learning about these comms has been fun. It's been interesting. It's been challenging. And what better way to serve the community that may not necessarily be in the comms community to explore these ideas casually and intentionally with hopefully some answers and some insight we could give, but ultimately to see the process by which we go through and whatever. Let me see what y'all snapping and trapping about. Good evening. What's happening, John? Good to see you again. No thumbnail. Yeah, I'm out here in these streets. I'm out here. It's good to see this blue icon in the mix, MJ. Always good to see you. I'm doing pretty good. Babe, MJ say hey. Oh, it's Cow Dog Connoisseur. What's happening? It's been a long time. I mean, we talked on Instagram, but it's been a long time for a live stream. That's what's up. Hey, Nathan. What's happening, man? How's that Chevy Volt? What's it called? What's the EV called? I don't know. You know what? I almost hit Set Tight up recently to be like, I haven't really heard much in the EV. Like, I haven't seen a whole lot going on with EVs lately. And I don't know if I'm just out of the jet stream of EV comms, but there's not too much been going on. Every now and then I'll be driving and I'll see a Prius Prime, which I like, by the way. It's too short for me. I'm not in the market for a car anyway, but the headroom is real tight on that dip. I'm 6'1", so, but I like the idea of that car, and that car looks good, but it's small, man. It's small. What up? Good to see you, LA Times. I'm definitely going to sell. See, that's why I rock with you. MJ, good people. I rock with her. Delgado, what's happening? Good to see you. Sounds great. That's what I like. The enthusiasm. I'm all about it. I will definitely appreciate you guys. You guys, y'all are faithful 40. That's what I call y'all in my brain. And I just made that up just now. I look forward to I don't have new power stations coming in, but I have some replacements coming in. Hopefully. I never believe it until I have a tracking number or if it's on my doorstep. So what I'm going to try to do. So I was just thinking about this actually. So the Pecron, I need to get that one replaced. I had some kind of charging issue. And I actually asked my contact at the company, I was just like, hey, what's going on? Because this is like my second time getting the Pecron replaced. Like, do you guys have a lot of issues with these products? And they were like, nah, it's actually really solid. And I'm like, okay, because this is my third one. Yeah, it's my third one. The first one had a USB. The first one actually worked really well. It worked so well that even though it had an issue, it was tough for me to send it back to him because I needed it. I had my Duran Duran die on me. Actually, it not only did it die on me, what happened with the Duran Duran? It had I can't remember. The Duran Duran, my first one, it was always a problem because it wasn't getting in as much solar. And I thought it was just an issue with my device. So I just kept it moving. It would charge, but it wouldn't charge as fast. So that one had an issue. I had an issue with the AceVolt and the Oukitel. I made videos about that. After the live stream is over, I'll put those videos down in the description if you guys want to check them out. If you haven't checked it out, but if y'all in the 40, you've probably seen them. Those two died on me. So I was down like 3 big 50 to 60 volt power stations. And here I got the Pecron, who has a 95 volt solar input limit. And it was hard for me to part with that dip. The only thing that was wrong with the first one was the USB port stopped working. And any power station that's typically in my basement zone, whether that's the basement or the garage, I really don't do a whole lot of USB-C with it unless I'm power dumping. But I power dump off of AC first. So I had that one for a good long time. It was just tough to send it back. And the main reason why it was tough to send it back is because they didn't want to send me one in order to replace the one that I had, and I could send them that one back. Some companies do it, some companies do not. So I got a new Pecron coming from what he said. My Cell, the screen was broken on that. They're having some issues with the phone number, but I gave them the phone number I give everybody. So I don't know what to tell them. I think they put the phone number on the joint wrong. And they're like, yeah, the UPS or FedEx or something saying that the number's not matching, so they could file a claim on it. So I actually need to respond to them tonight. So the Cell is coming. What else? I could possibly have another Oops Mega coming. I don't know. Again, I don't believe it until I got a tracking number or if it's on my doorstep. I think that's it. So I say all that to say, when the Pecron gets here, I was thinking, okay, I got the Pecron coming, but the Pecron is not like a use around the house type of power station. It's typically down somewhere powering something of a substantial power load because it has that 1200 watt inverter. So I was thinking about and it's also not easily charged. You can charge it via 5521, I believe. Yeah, I think it's 5521. But that's only like 100 watts. It's a 614 watt hour device. So that's not bad. I'm trying to get to a point here. I was talking about y'all who rock with me on the live streams. And I like to give away power stations when I have power stations that come in to replace them. But all of these power stations I have right now, they're being used in a particular way that the power stations that are coming don't necessarily replace those. But that could change once I get these dips and I make the videos. And then once I make the videos, then they're free to be used wherever. Before I make a video, those joints are kind of in jail. I can't put them somewhere permanent because I need to pull it out of that section to make the video. So that's an interesting challenge. But I hope to be able to start giving away power stations soon. Once I get these new power stations back in, and if they work the way they're supposed to work. The oops died again on me. I think the issue with the oops is that you can't let it sit at low voltage for an extended amount of time, which is disappointing. But I'm gonna have to make the video. I'm gonna have to say that in the video, and then I'm gonna have to keep it pushing because it's a nice device, but you can't leave it there and travel for a few days and nothing like that because it will have a problem. That's what it seems. I don't know. I actually need to talk to Jason again to see if he can test that. And I don't know if he'll want to. He's pretty good about testing stuff, but once you make your video and stuff like that, you very rarely want to go back. But I talked to him about it, and he was like looking into it a little bit. But I don't want to task another person with doing something that I'm having a problem with. Anywho, let me see what y'all snapping and trapping about. This should be bigger than this, man. Come on, I'm getting old. Let's see. 13.5 volts. I responded to you on that. Ask the question in the comments. I'll get to it. I'll read it. Okay, we got that one. Okay, we got the sub stuff. This is the reason I'm leaning toward more robust units. Why? What reason is that? I catch these comments a little later, so I don't always know what you guys are talking about. 2017 Chevy Bolt has been great. $12 of electricity to go 250 plus miles. That's crazy. Put that into perspective, guys. If you haven't thought about this, $12 to go 250 miles. That's typically about how much a tank of gas will get you. About 250 miles if you have something that's somewhat fuel efficient, I guess. So you know how much it costs you to fill up a tank. It'll cost us $50, $60. If you got a smaller tank, let's just call it $45. I talked about this during the previous live stream before the comms one. Typically, an electric vehicle costs you, I fudged the numbers a little bit in talking so fast. Sometimes that happens when you're live. But my understanding is an EV will cost you about 30% to run compared to what you pay in gas. So his $12, it'll probably cost another person about $45, $42 or something like that. So it's interesting to be in that EV game. I would like to be in it, but I don't know if I could come to terms with the idea that now my electric bill is going to go up super high. I be playing myself so much on over like 25 cents of power. It's like, I'm not talking about EV, but to fill up a power station, sometimes I have to tell myself, fill a power station up from the wall. And sometimes I still don't do it because I'm a weirdo. What can I say? Dependability. Listen, LA, man. I'm keeping a buck with you. Man. Listen. That's a real challenge, especially when you've had a couple units and now you kind of settled into your power needs and stuff like that, and you really want something you can count on and rely on. I think, and I talked about this before, I think Bluetti is kind of taking the crown there. And what I mean is just it's what I would pick. I love the tech forward thinking of EcoFlow, but the kind of that DPU, the Delta Pro Ultron, is pretty good. You know what I mean? They did a lot well with that one, but I feel like they almost need to kind of catch up with that technology and put that into their Delta Pro and their Delta 2 and their Delta Max line. I'm not saying it has to carbon copy it, but those other devices, I'm just not as impressed with them. And even still on the Delta Pro Ultra, they still have batteries on that dip that cannot do anything separate from the power unit or the head unit. I don't think I'm misunderstanding that. I think that's the case. So I feel like Bluetti makes some interesting choices for products that they put out, but their 200L, they need to update that AC line, the AC 500 and AC 300. Those have been out for quite some time. I'm kind of waiting to see what they're gonna do on that. I'm just curious, but that'll be interesting to see how they improve those. Maybe they're doing 240-volt built into those. That would be interesting, since EcoFlow is doing it. But yeah, dependability. I feel like if I had to kind of stake my claim in something, I would push for a Bluetti. Um, and I'm kind of struggling there, because that's the challenge of that situation. Because okay, I got to be realistic. I'm not necessarily an expandable battery guy. I see the benefits in it now. I used to kind of rally against them. I still would much rather have two full units versus a full unit and a battery. And I definitely would rather have two full EcoFlow units, because they're batteries, you can't do nothing with them. So, but let's just say in the fictitious land, the EcoFlow batteries allowed solar charging in, and they had some DC output ports and things like that. I could kind of see the case for getting into expandable batteries, because in my situation now, where I'm running my house a little longer, it's better to be able to have continuous power for longer versus breaking that power up. Now that only becomes an issue when, I got like 6 kilowatt hours of power stored, or you could go 2, 4, 6 and kind of stack it that way, where you have a 2,000 watt hour and then a 2,000 watt hour battery. I can see the appeal there, but I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's nothing for me to take one power station that has 2,000 watt hours in it and another power station that has 1,200. And when my 2,000 watt hour AC 200p runs out of power, I just unplug the extension cord that's backfeeding my home via AC male to male cable, and I just pop it in another power station. I'm not even big on power dumping from one power station to the other to continue that power, because I feel like it's such a waste of efficiency. So if the inverter can handle it, I just switch them over. I go from one power station to the other. Bang, AC 200p down to the Veto Man, a super Veto Man is what I call it. Wayne, what's happening? Good to see you, sir. Regenerative Life Wayne has a YouTube channel. Y'all should check him out. He focuses on solar or everything kind of regenerative. He has some Teslas now. He has a Tesla. He grows food and all of that jazz. Y'all should check him out. Okay. And it's the same thing down in my basement. I have the Duran Duran. The Oops is in a box. I have the Duran Duran and the All Powers R1500 with its 1800 watt inverter. That inverter is kind of interesting. It gets the job done, but it's interesting. I can tell you how it's interesting. When I run my microwave, it takes a little bit longer to cook my food than it normally would, and I think that's because it's 110. But the Duran Duran is 110 as well, but it runs the microwave a little bit better. And I don't know if it's because it has a 2,000 watt inverter, so the surge can come up a little bit higher. I don't know. I haven't put a watt meter on that dip to look into it. I just kind of like keep the party going, power what I power. But if I have the Duran Duran power in the house and that runs out of power, I just take the extension cord out of the Duran Duran and pop it into the All Powers. It would be nice if that Oops was back down there, because the Oops would be the main joint. And when the Oops dies, then I could pop it into the Duran Duran and then pop it into the All Powers. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how it works. I don't really power dump too much these days, but I actually thought about emailing the Bluetti contact. I'm still like a smaller YouTuber, so I can't pull a whole lot of rank with them. But I wanted to pitch an idea to them of like, man, I have this idea of Bluetti kind of coming in and just saving the day for my power situation, because it's a struggle with these, a beautiful struggle, but a struggle. I guess it's not even a struggle. I don't want to put it out there like that. It's interesting to have multiple power stations with varying inverter sizes. And I talked about this in the live stream, the one before last. But during the day, I really need my All Powers. My Duran Duran and my AC 200p from Bluetti to keep power in them to last as long as possible, because my wife she may be running around like trying to like warm up food, or I may need to use the microwave. She may need to use the washer. She may need to use the dryer. I need to have as beastie inverters as possible to carry those loads. And sometimes we still run into challenges. She was frustrated with me one of these times. Something died. I think the washer died or something like that. And she was kind of frustrated. And when I say kind of frustrated, she was annoyed. She said annoyed, but she handles it well. Not like some other dudes' wives would handle that situation. Shout out to y'all, man. Good luck with that. We doing all right over here. So I was thinking about pitching that to Bluetti, but I was really in my core being, I don't necessarily like to upgrade to older technology. For example, if for you guys who have been around for a while, when the AC 200p was getting a little long in tooth, as they say, I was talking about how I didn't really want an AC 200p. This was when I was entertaining spending my own money on it. And it was like, man, it was like $14.99, $15.99. I was just like, I can't bring myself to come to terms with spending that much money when the AC 200W, what is the one before the, I think they're doing okay. I think the one after the P, but before the L, whatever that one was, it was a Mark. It was the one I would lean towards because it had some pretty good upgrades. It could take 12 volts of solar. It had a 100 watt PD port instead of a 60. It had 900 watts of solar instead of 700. It was just a slight bump up. So the reason why I bring that up with regard to Bluetti and that AC300, because let's say I could convince Bluetti to send me an AC300, which I doubt, but that dip has been around for a while. So it's like, I don't know if I want to leverage my idea and try to see if my contact would go for it for AC300. Now I'll take a L, a AC200L. I don't necessarily for what I'm trying to do right now, which is get me a better inverter, a better quality inverter capacity and all that jazz, better solar input, because this one, my AC200P, is maxed out at 700 watts. I want to be able to get something that has that 145 volt limit that can take in power at a good click and then just be a better situation. Because I was thinking about their new AC 60 variant that's bigger, that's waterproof and all that jazz. They sent me the 60 and the B80, which is the extra battery, which I appreciate. It's running my zone 1 right now. But I'd love to get that AC 180 to run zone 1. That would be cool. I don't know. Hey, Ann, I see your name, but I don't see your comment just yet. Let me see. Let me kind of figure this stuff out. Let's see. Dependability. Should my 200 amp hour battery be floating at 13.5 volts? I have a power station. I can send you new inbox if you want to give it away to one of your fabulous subscribers. Listen, if you want to give me a power station to give away to some people, I think I'm open to that. What kind is it? My brain was like, what's the benefit to me? Because then I could ship out something else and then get and make a video on that one and experience that one. Message me on Telegram though. I'm not Telegram, Instagram. Let's see. My Tesla Model 3 extended range, saving $300 a month just in fuel, not counting no maintenance. Facts. And that's music to my ears. I know I mentioned it before, but the Titan is a beast. Yeah, LA Times mentioned the Titan, and he actually, LA Times, there's two LAs. There's a LA that's a woman, and there's a LA that's a guy. Let's just say LA Times gave me some insight on the Titan situation because I was curious. Like, why are you championing the Titan? But there's some batteries that he came across, or she came across. I'm pretty sure it's a he, I think. And he was able to, or she was able to manually. I'm trying to. I'm pretty sure. Man, that's crazy. That's what happens when you don't have a profile picture or something that lets me know it's just purple. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, there are batteries involved that the Titan interfaces with on some straight up DIY stuff, and LA Times is a fan. So I'm pretty sure. Let me scroll down because I'm sure you're gonna give me clarity. God, I thought so. I was pretty sure. All right, all right. That price on the Ultra is high as clowns. Facts. You gotta be committed, like you read about, to pay for an Ultra. That's for sure. But some people, they need that convenience in a box. A buddy of mine says that the Evil Empire AC200, that's what it is. It's the AC200 Max. It's the AC200P, the AC200 Max, and then the AC200L. So what are you saying about them? Is one of their best products. Listen, this AC200P, it's a workhorse. And then my man Wayne Boucher, he loves Bluetti products. I mean, he likes EcoFlow products too, but from almost like day one, his AC, what's it called? The EB 1500, the EB 2000 or 2400. He has always championed those joints being workhorses. He's never had a problem with them or anything like that. I never had a problem with my EB 120 outside of a battery being like loose in it. So they had to replace that one. But it worked, and it was older technology. So it was a little, yeah, it had some shortcomings. Only had a 45-watt PD port and some old USB-A ports, but it worked. It worked. That thing was a trailblazer. I remember when Will did the review on it, Solar Will, and he was just like kind of blown away by the specs and how it worked and all of that jazz. So, he still, as far as I can go back and remember him talk about it, he still uses it. I don't want to say to this day, but the last time he spoke about it, which in like the last 2 or 3 years or so, he was like, I still use it. It runs cameras or something like that. So Bluetti, I got to tip my hat to him, man. I mean, I'm sure there's EcoFlows running around here just working and banging out. I'm sure there are. The common running theme for the EcoFlow when the River first came out was the devices are really good, but you may have to return it once. I know, right? I would love to have a Bluetti with a expandable battery. Yeah, facts. Facts. Let's see. After building my own DIY solar generators, I can't see purchasing an out of the box, much expensive unit. Yeah, absolutely. With less power, etc. But everyone has different needs. Yeah, a lot of these people are beginners, or they don't want to take the time to learn. I get it, but yeah, once it's like you can't beat it with these all-in-ones now. The all-in-ones with the built-in breakers, and you just got to hook it up to a battery. Like that's magical. It's magical. Ramblin Bob, good to see you. Ramblin Bob Reviews also has a channel. He had a video that he suggested to me to watch, with him taking his Oukitel or FF Power. He had an Oukitel, I believe, and he took the long screws out, and he basically discovered that inside of the Oukitel P2001, even though the Anderson power pole it is the interface on the outside, it actually has an XT60 connector in the inside, which actually is not shocking. XT60 is very popular. It's a very popular connector in the electronics field of doing things. So he just bypassed the Anderson altogether. He did like XT60 to MC4. Although I wish I had your contact information, Bob. I assume your name is Bob. Because I would have wanted to ask you, why did you go XT60 to MC4 instead of just XT60 to XT60 male or female, or however it works? So I believe you went XT60 to MC4 and then solar panel to XT60 instead of just going solar panel to XT60. which is MC4 to you get what I'm saying, right? Instead of going, I think he went XT60 to MC4 to MC4 to whatever. Why didn't you just go MC4 from solar panel to XT60 and just be done with it? I am kind of asking. Mind your business. What you saying? What you saying, fam? I'm also painting a picture for the people who haven't seen the video. That's why I'm talking it out as well. Mind your business. Mind your business. Hey, Ann. Good to see you. I've been missing y'all. Been a tad busy. That's all. That's understandable. Just, you know, what Andy Dufresne say or Morgan Freeman say, get busy living or get busy dying. We all busy. The voltage is the problem with the microwave. You will hear a harder grinding kind of sound with the voltage dips a little bit too far. Absolutely. My voltage does not dip too bad on the microwave, but good point. Because when I put it on another power station, it may have been the Oops 1800. It sounded awful. And I was just like, oh, I'm not going to do that again. So, excellent point. Good to be on tonight. Good to have you here. LA Times was laughing at me.
You were struggling.
I was sure, but I don't like to be like arrogant like that. I feel like I'm not completely sure. I'm 99% sure.
But then you still wasn't sure.
I still wasn't sure. I was 99. Let's see. The AC 200 Max is a better ecosystem. That's a fact. Facts. Than the AC 200p. That's true. You I don't think you can expand the 200p. I don't think you can. Can you expand the Max? Yeah, you can. And the Max has wireless or Bluetooth or something. The AC 200p has no connectivity. Man, when I have the two devices that I have that have wireless built into them, it's not reliable. I talked about this because it turns on, it turns off. The EcoFlow with that wireless connectivity is fantastic. Hey, how's your foot doing? Okay, good to hear it. Okay, awesome. Thank God for that, son. Let's see. Yeah, my EcoFlow wireless works for the most part like a charm. Every now and then I have to reconnect it, but for the most part, it's connected and it stays connected. The AC, the All Powers R1500, it drops the joint after it dies. And then the Oops also drops the joint after some time or after it dies. And then when they come back on, you have to turn it on manually.
Look at this guy.
What?
You got a 4-year-old over here turning on the power station.
Man, he gotta, you know what I mean? He gotta know. Jojo, he was under the impression that their power station was like not working. He went and grabbed the little Gulu joint, the little block, and he grabbed it and was like, I need to use this. This power station is not working. I was like, oh man, it makes me proud.
What was that?
The little Gulu joint that can jumpstart the car.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me get a TV.
I reached out to the person. It was a 43-inch, but they never got back to me. I need to buy another 32-inch TCL TV with the Roku stuff built in. Because right now my son has the Samsung and he has to switch between inputs. It would just be easier for him to navigate through the Roku remote. Much easier. And then he would have a TV that matches the other two kids because they both got 32-inch TCLs. They use about 15 watts a piece, which is fantastic. Y'all, we survived the solar eclipse. Aren't y'all happy y'all survived the solar eclipse? That Armageddon didn't happen? That there was no terrorist attack or anything like that? I was watching this one channel. This dude was like running his trap about it. I was just like, this is crazy that this dude has somewhat of an authority in this particular thing. No knock on Cat. Well, no serious knock on him. Because I was talking to my man, Cleese Report, and I was just saying that it's like he has all of this authority, and I shouldn't say authority. He has a large following of people who watch his videos, and I think they're called the Max, the THEMAC''S. If you guys have been watching any of that stuff, I'm sure you have seen his stuff come up on your screen. But it's just like, I look, I respect a good conspiracy. Like, what is the government doing? This is suspicious. Why are they moving this way? And then every now and then he dips into just the ridiculous, just dips into it. He doesn't go like start talking about tinfoil and Martians and things like that. But it's just like, I could tell you kind of don't know what you're talking about. And you probably should have researched that a little bit better. So that's me being really reasonable, because I don't really have, but I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this dude. And I was only seeing the content in like the last like 5 days or so. So it wasn't a big deal. I ain't, you don't know what you're not missing, right? All right, Thomas, good to see you. I'm thinking AC3, AC200. Oh, I guess the 200L and not the AC300 because of the screens. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, I respect that. All top. That's awfully nice. That's sending a power station to gift out. Did you ever fix those problems with the Anderson power pole in those two systems? No, I did not. I've never heard back from AceVolt, and I no longer have the AceVolt. I sent it back to them to be repaired. You gotta turn it down, buddy. Thank you. You're already on it. Good job. I sent it back to them. AceVolt sent the device back to them. P2001 type of thing. I think it's called the Camp Power 2000. They straight up ghosted me after I followed up with them. They were like, "Yeah, we'll get it back to you." Never heard from them again. And I followed up with them at least twice. And then I followed up with them with a whole different email string from my Gmail. And I think what I have to do now is I'm going to send them just a plain email with no history in it. And not necessarily for trickery. Maybe there's something in my email thread, headers or something like that, that's sending my email a spam. But you've already corresponded with me. You know what I'm saying? You've already talked to me, so my email shouldn't go to spam after that. So they straight up ghosted me. And then Oukitel, I'm giving Oukitel a hard time, possibly unfairly, but I'm not cutting them too much slack. They had a different email system now on their support page, but I have corresponded with them via the email that I had in the old system, I suppose. And then they stopped responding to me. And then I was looking at the website to see what the support, and I was looking at the support email, and I was like, this email don't match what I've been sending them. There's something different here. And then I noticed that the email was different, started a whole new thread with them, emailed them. They actually got back to me in an automated sense. And they were like, yeah, if you bought it from Amazon, email Amazon@oukitel.com. So I emailed Amazon, and then Amazon, their version of the email finally got back to me and was asking for some details that I have to try and provide them tonight to see if I can possibly get this resolved. But the crazy part is I just didn't buy it from Amazon. I bought it and then I was reimbursed. I had to spend like $400 or $500 of my own money. I think it's probably like 3 something or something like that. So it wasn't like a true purchase. So it makes my head hurt, but I gotta look into it. I'm actually hoping that I could get the Oukitel repaired or replaced, or maybe they could send me something different. I don't know. I kind of would rather have them replace it, and then if we decide to work together on something else in the future, just let that be separate. Or if they want to replace it with something nicer, and then I don't have to make a video, that would be ideal. I don't know. But AceVolt, yeah, AceVolt did me dirty. I don't know. Company could gone out of business. Who knows? This site is still up and all that jazz. But anywho, EB240 is a beast. There you go. That's been his his take on that thing since day 7. All right. I still rock the 240 and the 150. Yeah, solid devices, man. And those devices aren't even LiFePO. They're like some type of automotive cell that was good for 1200 watts, which was kind of unheard of. Everything was 500 watts, but they had some special stuff going on that gave them like 1200 cycles. Solid device. Yeah. And the inverter, Element Van Life, he talked about the inverter on his EB240 or EB150 and how when Bluetti sent him the AC200P, he gifted his EB to somebody, but he noticed a discrepancy. He noticed that he was feeling the pinch of like the inverter not lasting as long. So that inverter on the EB120, 150, 240 is sipping power as well. Now, should you buy an EB? I'm gonna say no. But if you got one, enjoy the fruits of your labor. I don't think you should buy one unless you get one for a crazy deal, like somebody who never used it, it just sat in the closet and now it's not worth much, and you could get it for like $200, $250 or something crazy like that. Because I think the cheapest they've been is like $4.99 or something. It could have been a refurbished one. I don't know. How long we been live? 40 minutes. Man, I'm telling you, I could run my trap. I feel like shout out to Sasha because I was like, walking your trap, take over your trap. That's a friend of the family. Walking your trap, take over your trap is one of the dumbest lyrics I've heard in a very long time. I have a very technical brain, and she posted something like that, and I was like, this is so stupid. But it's so stupid that it's caught on. It's like I'm not going. It's your trap. Why you got to take over your trap? It's yours. Anyway, stop. Let's see. Okay, we talked about that. Waterproof, and most of mine runs an MC4. Yeah, but much like the conversation you were having with Jasonoid about it, the XT60 that dead ends in the device is inside at that point. So you could just go MC4 extension from solar panel, then MC4 extension ends, and then MC4 to XT60. But I think you went XT60 to MC4, MC4 to some other stuff. I guess that's the same, right? I don't know. It felt weird. I don't know. The process felt weird to me, but maybe it's the same thing, and my brain had a blockage or something. Okay, you saying that's what I did? Okay, cool. Something threw me off about it. I'm not sure. XT60 to MC4s to solar panels. Boom. Okay, so yeah, I'm tripping. Hey, Kimber Jack, good to see you. Subject to change. What's happening? It appears. Will it appears on arriving late to the show? Okay. Well, it appears I'm arriving late to the show. Gotcha. The reason that it mattered, it makes that noise. It's fighting to run smooth, being underpowered. Okay, interesting. He's talking about the microwave situation. How do I keep my cheap 10 amp PWM charge controller outside drive? Throw it in the trash. Oh man, it's like why put forth any effort to keep a cheap old tech dry? I mean, I guess you have it, so that's not my lane. But I feel like you need some kind of waterproof box, and they make them. There's they make them. You just got to figure something out to get the wires in there. Babe, can you adjust this lamp? Actually, I could reach the power station, but I can't reach the lamp. Just pull it out of the way, son. No. It's in the walkway. No. It's just right here. Push it up against there as much as you can. Kind of just work it around stuff. Oh, Adele was having trouble walking through. Walking your trap, take over your trap, right? Have you checked out the new AC200PL? Blah. Yes, I think they kind of messed up the pricing. I don't think it's ever intended to cost that much. I watched the Hobotech video, at least the final thoughts video of the video, and he was like, the price is like $13.99, something like that. So that makes more sense than the $19.99 I've seen. It also has a 60-volt input limit, which is crazy. I don't understand why they keep putting it on there. That's something that these companies just need to stop. You guys are doing a really good job of being quiet. Thank you. Excellent work. Wayne said hello, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, true. We never had any problems so far with the Bluetooth on our Bluetti systems. I dig it. That's what's up. I have a car battery, 100-watt solar panel, and a PWM charge controller outside. Yeah, those PWMs, man, those tips would be like what, $20, $25 now. There's even, I mean, I have a waterproof kind of like, it's kind of like a charge controller, but I've been told that it's just really a converter, a boost or buck. Boost is raises it, and buck drops it. It's like a boost converter. It's not like a traditional MPPT. I don't know. That's what I was told by a person. Probably set type. That dip is waterproof, but it has an Anderson connector. Ramblin' Bob. It has an Anderson connector to connect to the battery. So you would almost have to take that off and then go MC4, and then you could use MC4 to get further to your battery. I don't know. I mean, you need a waterproof box. That's really what it's gonna come down to. Hey, hit the like button. Hit the like button. And hit the like button on the real videos too. Shout out to y'all for doing that. Get one of those plastic boxes that have wire inputs like an electrical box. Thank y'all for coming through. Hey, talking about TV, if one goes out, don't throw it away, convert it into a LED shop light. I think I saw a video on something like that. I wouldn't do it though. I won't make the time for stuff like that. It's I hate that we live in a society where it's just stuff is so cheap that it's not worth it to tinker on it. As soon as China cuts us off, we're gonna all have a rude awakening. Yeah, that's too much effort for me for PWM. I don't think it's worth it. But you could figure it out. But it's like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I have a different vantage point. It's like for the time that you're gonna take. Um, hey, you know what, John? I got $20 on you getting another charge controller. How about that? I got a dub towards that. Cause I don't know what kind of income you on. I got a dub on you getting a new charge controller. Hopefully one that's waterproof. Look into it. Let me know. I can be reached at solarquestions at askive.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Telegram. I'm on Instagram, and I have WhatsApp, but I really don't like the application because how do you even say it? It's so stupid. Um, but I do have it. So email me or message me on one of those three: Facebook, Instagram, or Telegram. I don't fear the end of the world. I fear the people that fear the end of the world. They can be crazy. That's a fact. And a lot of those people claim to believe in Jesus, but they be doing some weird stuff. The eclipse here with 60% coverage and beautiful. There you go. I've looked at Love the Cuddle. Good to see your name. We're gonna get back to that in a second. I've looked at the sun before, and they tell you like, don't look at the sun. And it's just like I've done it before. I mean, you don't stare at the sun. But I've looked up there. It wasn't necessarily fun. It didn't hurt or anything. So when they say don't look at it, oh, one guy made the point. I was watching a video. He was saying, and he could have been lying because a lot of times people have to make these type of proclamations because people are not the brightest. But he was like, even though you were getting less of the sun's rays are still very powerful. So yeah, don't stare up at the sun, even if the moon is in front of it. So that's a fair point. But yeah. Hey, I hope you are well. I am. What percentage should I charge my EcoFlow Delta to when not in use? It depends on how long it's not in use. If it's going to be sitting around for a few months, you want to put it at about 60%. You can also read your manual. Your manual will tell you exactly what you should store it at. But if you have an EcoFlow that is lithium ion, you would probably want to keep it in between 20 to 60, 20% to 20 to 60, 20 to 80%. The good thing about EcoFlow is you can manually set that so they can manage it for you automatically. You can even do 10 to 90. That's a good look. But 20 to 80 is much better to preserve the cycles on the dip. But if you're going to store it don't ever store it at 0. You want to be at about 50%. But if you're going to store it for a short period of time, it's like, it doesn't matter. Okay, we got that. Okay. Got it twice. When not in use, yeah, that's twice. Big fan of your channel. Have not bit the bullet and acquired a background device, but you are convincing me. Yeah, Ramblin Bob, he be going hard in the paint with them long videos about various subjects. It's not always my cup of tea, but I appreciate him doing it because I'm sure some people like that. You trying to say something, or you just lingering? That Oukitel P2001 has a very decent AC inverter in there. We have 2 of them, and we can push 2400 plus. I'm really thinking about. I really want Oukitel. Oukitel is not a company that is not around anymore. That's what's bugging me about this situation. So it's like, will I end up possibly trying to pull it apart and get access to the XT60? Maybe, but I don't want to. I feel like Oukitel needs to address this particular issue, and I hope they do. So B240 is new at $749. Man, if somebody from Bluetti walked in here trying to sell EB240 for $700, I slap their protein shake out of their hand. That's a Bill Burr reference. If you don't know the Bill Burr reference, it's surrounding a bit where he's talking about how women are so unruly because they just don't get blasted in the face often enough. That's the premise of the joke. It's just like, he's like, dudes understand, like, if you get too unruly with a guy, he could blast you in the face. These are Bill Burr's words. And he was like, if I didn't have to worry about getting punched in the face, you know how much a jerk I would be? I'd go up to a guy. He's like, yeah, you big buff guy, slap his protein shake out of his hand. He's like, hey, what are you going to do? He had his hand motion. He was like, slap his protein shake out of his hand. It's funny. It's a catchphrase we say all the time.
I missed everything else around that joke.
You did. I don't even know if you heard the joke. You probably were passively listening. It probably just resonated with me and then stuck with our life. Hey, Tia, what's happening? Looking at a good solar fridge with a long battery life. Any suggestions? I feel like if you're looking for a solar fridge, playoffs. If you're looking for a solar fridge, they not cheap. There's only a few companies that make them. I think EcoFlow has one that's battery powered. I don't know what a solar fridge is. I feel like LA Times probably mentioned a solar fridge many, many lives ago. And I was like, what that mean? It got solar panels on it? But I think Bluetti has a battery powered joint now. A battery powered fridge now that you can charge. Jasonoid did a video on one some time ago, but it ended up exploding in the forest and nearly burned down the forest. He was saying that the company, they were active about it. They wanted to address the issue. It was something with the batteries in them. I'm not trying to scare you off of a battery situation. I don't think those batteries were LiFePo back then. But now, most of these fridges have batteries in them. I imagine Bourgeois V may have one. So I don't know what a good one is. I guess that's fine. To have a fridge with a battery power in it. You said solar. I'm assuming by solar, you mean battery power and can be powered from solar and charged from solar. So check out those. I feel like Wayne knows more about these DC fridges than I do. He may have an answer. I converted one of my broken TVs to a shop light. It took me all of 6 minutes. That's 6 minutes I ain't making time for. They out here playing stick up facts. Give me all your money, all your coins. I will match Ask God with another dub. Boom. John, you in there. Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate your generosity. Jay, what's happening? What's happening? Facts. Oukitel's main gig is phones. It was so funny for me being a tech guy to see them making power stations. I'm like, ain't these the phone people out here in these streets? All you have to do is go outside more and adjust your view towards the sun a little at a time. Tia, that sounds pretty radical. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're probably right, but that's extremely radical. There was this guy who was on Alone. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear that, you may want to mute your speakers. I don't know what season this was, but this guy, I actually won't spoil it for you. This guy, he would drink non-potable. Is that how it works? Non-potable water. So he had been drinking it all his life, like growing up in like Spain or something like that, Mexico. And when he was on Alone, he didn't have the issue that everybody else had, which was needing to boil the water, which was crazy. So I feel like the body is amazing. God designed us. I, oh my gosh, I am a believer in Jesus Christ. Um, who, if you ever, if you're not into it, which is fine. But if you're ever curious, just go and read start with like chapter 2 of the book of Matthew and just read how the scriptures write how Jesus moved through the earth. Like he's that dude. But anyway, I mean, like it's freaking fascinating. It's like this dude moved in such a way that was just incredible. It's like what we expect, but it's still fascinating. Anyway.
We're actually about to start Matthew.
Oh, nice. But we can adjust, like for something very simple, very silly. I walk outside in the cold all the time. And my neighbor sometimes he'll joke with me. He'd be like, "Ah, you will get frostbite," and it's just like, no, I'm not. It is nothing. It doesn't get super cold here or anything like that. It gets cold from time to time, but I make it a point to go outside without a jacket on because I feel like my body will adjust. It'll be fine. So maybe you what exploded? The batteries in a fridge, Tia. If you go to Jasonoid's channel, Jason is spelled exactly how it sounds, and then just add OID. I'm sure it'll be one of his. It might be one of his more popular videos, but you could just type in DC fridge, and he had a fridge that caught on fire while he was out camping. The battery started to explode and pop fireballs all over the place. It was freaking ridiculous. Like I don't know Solar Will personally, but we have talked on Instagram from time to time. When I saw that video, I sent it to him immediately. He was like, "Holy cow!" Because that was crazy. That was crazy. I halfway thought he might share it on his feed. Maybe he did. I'm not sure, but I was kind of trying to get Jason Noy some play in it as well. But I definitely wanted him to see it because he talks about the battery chemistry. Like Solar Will is like the GOAT in terms of the solar stuff. So he has been the person that a lot of us has learned the most from. So him talking about those battery chemistries and being dangerous and so on and so forth, I thought he would get a kick out of seeing that actually happen in real life. All right, stay away from bourgeoisie. Let me scroll up. Oh man. Okay. All you have to do. Okay, we got that. Okay, then. Bourgeoisie has a battery version as well. Thanks, Ramblin' Bob. Bourgeoisie has a pink one. It's beautiful. I was kind of a little annoyed that they went with them pastel Easter colors. I was like, what are y'all doing? It's Stay away from lithium-ion batteries for portable fridges. LiPo is the way to go. Much safer chemistry. I can't disagree with that. Charge from solar is what I'm looking for. Okay, I dig it. When people that go out and move their panels all the time, sun chasers, it's funny to see the neighbor run out every hour to move that panel. Yeah, I'm that neighbor. I don't do it anymore. But I feel like if you got a 100, 200 watt panel, I mean, you kind of got to go out there and chase the sun. A 500 watt panel is only going to get you on average about 500 watt hours of power. You know, if you got a decent sized power station, you got a 200 watt panel, it's going to get you about 1,000 watt hours per hour if you just leave it still. But if you chase that sun, you might come away with more power. So I'm a sun chaser. I'm greedy. Um, I'm a sun chaser, that's for sure. Yeah, I have an EcoFlow. True. Hey, Sharp man, good to see you. Michael Blackstock, it's been a while, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully, all is well. Let me know how it's going. What do you think about the Dabson? I don't know anything about it specifically, but I am intrigued by Dabson overall. They got a couple good models out there. I feel like they got like a 2000, a beastie one, a lightweight one. I thought about reaching out to them, but I'm not. I was kind of debating with Setai over this because I feel like I have such a backlog. I'm not going to intentionally reach out to other companies to put more of a burden on my shoulders to make these videos. So if Dabson reaches out to me, I'll take it, but I'm not going to intentionally continue to drown myself in videos that I need to do, which is crazy because we had an hour, and I got like 8 things I wanted to talk about, and I covered maybe about 1, 2, maybe 3. So your boy could run his trap, that's for sure. The pink one was made for National Women's Day. Hey, God bless him. So I don't have a specific opinion about it. I think I like the look of the Dabson joints, but the real question is, I mean, they're doing some very interesting things. But much like me and we were talking about earlier, subject to change. After a while, when you like maybe you get you a cheap or an affordable unit, but then it seems like, and I'm just keeping it a buck, it seems like at some point you got to settle into maybe 1 or 2 power stations down the line of getting something from like the big 3. I'm gonna say big 2. I don't necessarily count Jackery. I just feel like I haven't looked into Jackery. Jackery waited so long to go to LFP. They kind of like they might as well not exist in my mind. I feel like at some point you got to get something from EcoFlow or Bluetti. Now, that's not to say that the Dabson won't run for years for you. You got Ramblin Bob, and then you got channels like KY Prepper, Kentucky Prepper. He got like 2 Ouakitels, I believe. He has like 2 AC 200Ps, and he runs those dips and they work. You know what I mean? It's just like you'd be fine. But I think at some point when you have affordable solar, you do an affordable product. You get you something that when coins are not as plentiful, when solar is still kind of like in the hobby phase, and then after some point when you start to, because it's addictive, you gonna get more stuff. Then you probably gonna have to slide into a Bluetti or a EcoFlow or Pecron. Pecron is really being real solid. I still consider Pecron to be in the budget offering space, but they're making some solid devices for sure. All Powers is, it's like, man, All Powers, I think I still consider them kind of budget. Their power stations look great. They're designed nicely. But the R1500, it's the AC port is energized. It gets about 40 volts on it, which is crazy. And I think that maybe the next iteration of power stations will have the kind of polish. Their 200 watt panel is fantastic. It has the quality of like a EcoFlow or a Renogy or something like that. I love that little device. So yeah, DAPS is cool. The devices look good. They have expandable power. I don't know what the voltage range is on them. That's another thing. I would be incredibly shocked if their 2000 and their 1500 or the mid tier one went over 60 volts. I would be shocked. Pecron is one of the only companies that's doing like about a good 95 volts on their power stations, where everybody else is doing 60, or their big boys have the 145, 150s. So that's my take on there. Let's see. That, that Jason Noy video was wild. It was wild. It was it was freaking wild. That's like literally as soon as I watched it, I was like, yo, I have to send this to people. And I sent it to Will Prowse. Like, yo, you have to watch this. This is crazy. So go watch that. Go watch that video. It's an experience. He has a couple like slow motion moments where a fireball run past his head. Jason, he was cool under pressure though. He was directing like crazy. Like after that, I did a live stream probably after that. Not that I wasn't gonna do the live stream anyway, but I was just talking about how, man, lithium ion. There was viewers in the live stream who was like, "I'll never do lithium ion again. Like it has to be LFP." Now, that's a rational response. I get it. I mean, but how many times does that happen? But you don't want to be the person that happens to. I was thinking about like, man, what would I do? That still crosses my mind. What would I do if something happened with these power stations that are not lifeboat? I thought about trying to get like a metal trash can or something like that, so I could put that. If something started to happen, a reaction started to happen, like quickly reacting and put it in there. Sometimes I leave power stations in my garage because it's all brick and concrete, with the exception of like the door. But it was a crazy experience. What'd you say? Oh, you said I better get that metal garbage can. So I do want to show you guys a couple products. So we'll do that right now. Um, this is the Bouge Juice Go. You may have seen videos about it. I've had it for quite some time. I need to do a video on it soon. I think this is going to be a real fan favorite for people who just in general want the device. I'm not going to tell you all the details about it. I want to save that for the video because my videos are not necessarily super like testy and all that jazz. But I actually popped it on solar today. It has an 8mm port on it. I wish it had 5521, but it is what it is. It has bi-directional USB-C on it. And look at this form factor, guys. This is LFP battery chemistry. Your 3000 cycles. The screen on it is tiny, but this has extreme backpack, hiking, taking power with you, repercussions. AC joint. I feel like this is the small power station that most people want. Now, one thing I'm not, what's the word? The F word. I'm not a fan. I'm not the biggest fan of is this material here, because I think this is so backpack friendly that it has this smooth kind of material compared to this. Like this doesn't make that sounds like this rubberized stuff. It may make it harder to get it in and out of a bag. Maybe, but I'm a big fan of this. Big fan. This is nice. So I have to do the video on that soon. The Bouge Juice Go. And then I got my first MPPT charge controller. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? This is the Batteria joint that is, it's really interesting because it does, that white is throwing the video all off. Let's do that so I don't look crazy. um the little wires kind of go in here. This is really interesting that I was able to get them to send this to me because one, it can do 12 volts, it could do 24 volts, and it could do 48 volts in this kind of package. these MPPT charge controllers that are typically this form factor, they typically do 12 volts, or they'll be like a 24 volt. Not only does this one do all that, it has a fan built in, so it should last a little bit longer. It has your 150 volt input limit. It might be I don't think it's higher than that. But as you go from 12 to 24 to 48, I can kind of possibly do a 24 volt battery array. I'm not sure I'm going to do that because in order to get the power out of it, I have to have a 24 volt inverter, and I'm not going to spend money on a 24 volt inverter. But what it would save me from is when my oops goes down, and I have all of those panels in series that literally can't go into anything else except for the oops, which is why I need Bluetti to come through and save the day. That would work. I could easily throw that into there. You know, I have MC4 cables that have come off of broken solar panels. I actually had a panel that I threw away that I should have cut the cables off. I'll never make that mistake again. When I have to throw a panel away, I always take the cables off. I got cables from things that have broken that I kept around because those things come in they come in. I don't know where my brain is going. It's clutch, basically. So I have the ability to take and strip, those cables and use them in this situation to go from bare wire to MC4 to make this a little more ease of whatever. I'm not going to do power pole Anderson. You have to solder XT60. Anyway, bare wire to MC4 is going to be the way that I go. And then I have to think about how to connect it to a battery. So I'm going to have to go bare wire to something. I may have to entertain taking like an Anderson to ring terminal joint. But I got wire strippers now, so that's not a handicap for me anymore. So anyway, I got my first joint. The video for this should be coming soonish. Soonish. One more thing I want to show you. And I'm not going to show you much of this one, but this is hands down. Let me see. The coolest 12 volt battery I have ever seen. Look at this thing. Let's get it right. This is the Golden Mate Orion 1000. This right here on the joint. I don't know the model number. This thing is fantastic. Fantastic. Now, I don't know. It doesn't have an internal heater or, you know what I mean? I mean, just from a design standpoint and a feature, if you happen to go look it up, God bless you, because it has a feature on it that's fantastic. But y'all gonna have to wait for the video or go look it up yourself. Go look it up yourself. That battery is really cool. Really cool. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. Oh man, see what y'all snapping and trapping about. I can't imagine much because y'all be chilling in the cut when I be talking. I'm gonna check out Life Goes Seriously. That's what's up. So why do you want a solar powered or battery powered fridge? What's the situation to you? You can also buy a cigarette lighter cover for a few bucks to cover that point for safety and splash protection. Cover that port. Okay, on the Juice Go. It's nice. It's nice for a little portable unit. I travel with that one now. I travel with that in my Sevcoms, which is kind of like the old Sateki I used to have, or the Bodens I still have. But I bring this one with me. I like the handle. The only thing I don't like, I can't say that I don't like it. In order to get the light into the room, because it has a light on there, I have to put it on its bottom, and that's where the AC outlet is and the fan is. But the fan doesn't even come on rarely. This is nice. It reminds me of the Sherpa Gold Zero units. It's not as thin, but it kind of reminds me of those. And you know, Sherpa Gold Zero is super expensive. Now, in their marketing, they show this with a shoulder strap. So that's interesting. I really like this thing. I'm a big fan. I really think it's about $200. You can get different power stations in a bigger form factor with better features. But if you have a need for something compact, and we know how that goes, when you get into something that's more compact, it can cost a little more coins. Let's see. Bourgeois V makes a crimper kit. Yeah, I have one. We did many reviews about it. It's fantastic. Yeah, I don't think the crimper kit has the ability to strip it, but I don't like doing my own cables. I don't like doing it. It's easy. I did it. I have a video about it. It did get many views because it wasn't packaged in a way. It wasn't even recorded in a way that was ideal for many views. It was like a little journey I went on to replace it because I had a Bouge RV, no, a HQST panel that fell. Also, completely careless stuff on my part. I grabbed these panels, sun chasing, as you say, Ramblin Bob, and it got caught up on a brick, and it yanked the joint right out of it yanked the wire right out of the connector. And had headed office. I had I had an extra like 180 HQST in my garage. So I was just like, I ain't dealing with this. I threw it in there, and then me and Bourgeois V worked together on something, and I asked them to send me a kit as well, and they did. So I have one around here. So I used it to replace it, made a video about it. It was really easy. The main thing I didn't have was the strippers, but I didn't need them because the wire was already stripped. So I just had to pop it in, crimp it, and then twist the stuff on. And it was fine. Let's see here. Bro, ain't that the truth? No, it's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be that long. It's not gonna be that long. I feel like give me another maybe 2 weeks, and I may have to do it before then, but it won't be that long. What's up, Tim? Me and the family are good. Facts. We're good. We're good. All is well. Does that juice go have a modified wave or pure sound wave? I don't have anything to test that, but I haven't come across anything that even seems like modified sound wave. And it's almost not worth it to even put the modified sound wave in there. So I would gather that. So let me say this. I'm sure if you go to their website, it says pure sound wave, but the question is whether or not you trust them. And I feel like I don't think people even putting modified sound wave in power stations from big companies like this anymore. But I could be wrong. Somebody check. If I get a minute, I'll check. I don't use the house fridge anymore. It is half dead. For one thing, I live by myself. So you have a power station, right, Tia? Because I feel like you could be paying extra for a solar, a battery powered refrigerator when you kind of don't have to. I mean, I assume you have electricity, so you should be able to power your fridge even if you go DC, and you may be able to get more fridge for the money instead of paying that money for a fridge that is powered by battery, which means you're gonna get less fridge space. So I don't know. I mean, it's your coins, but I would take that into consideration. Having something as easy as a little. Look at it like this: if you have a power station already, then problem solved. That could charge from solar. If you don't have a power station already, you could consider buying a power station for possibly even used, maybe if you could find a LifePo power station on a marketplace, Facebook or Craigslist or something like that, and then you could just put solar into that. But look, I say in some of my early videos, my pockets ain't your pockets. Your pockets ain't my pockets. So if you want a solar power one, God bless you. I feel like those in the community are trying to help you out as best we can. Golden Mate. You remember from loving that one. I have. I have just got 100 amp hours. I'm not sure if they make a bigger one. Oh, nice. So you have one. Pretty cool. Accidentally hit 3-speed on my lawnmower, ran over my solar. Ooh, dang. That sucks. I'm very careful because I do have to cut grass over my cords. And I put that joker on the highest setting and I tread very carefully. I try to avoid cutting the grass over my cords, which is why the OOPS was so important to me, or anything that could do 140 volts, because then I can combine more of my panels so I don't have as many cables running into the house. Live before last, I talked about that, or maybe the live before the last live. Did your Golden Mate come with those crazy data cables? They did. I don't know what to make of those, but if they're doing like parallel or something like that, they did. My wife may have just bought the little box downstairs. I am also moving away from conglomerate energy. It's just not necessary anymore. The power goes out a lot in the mitten. Big energy can turn off the power whenever they want. I dig that. But it may be ideal to split up those two devices instead of paying for because look, to run a fridge and then not have any, it's the ultimate, like, separate those things out and then you can get more benefit from them. I think Tennessee Frank was saying he got the Pecron LFP 300. He's seen it for as cheap as $255. You look at that fridge will probably cost you $500-$600. Wayne, help me out here. How much are those fridges? They're not cheap. So I feel like you have a separation of church and state, and then you could get more benefit from it because the DC fridge doesn't take much power. So I don't think that that's a smart move, to be honest with you. But if you just absolutely, like, look, again, I don't knock people for their choices. But if you just absolutely have to have a fridge that runs off of solar, I dig it. But if you got a power station that can run off of solar, then your power station can run your fridge, charge your cell phones, run a lamp, possibly run some other things around your house. Just a thought. Let's see. The examination uses an oscilloscope or a waveform analyzer by connecting it to a load. Yeah, I get it. I don't have nothing to do it. Okay, and I skipped it, but I fixed with electrical tape. It didn't go through the copper, just tore the plastic. I hope that's the case because Setite has something go wrong with one of his cables. I don't know what happened, but it was burning the grass around it. But that's what electrical tape is for, to stop the current from coming through. So, I mean, it may be ideal to replace those cables, but I get it. I get it 100%. If it's smooth, it's a pure sine wave unit. Hey, my two-step guard, and what's happening? Good to see you. I'm looking to buy the AC240 by Bluetti, and I want to buy the Bourgeois V 400 watt panels like yours. Okay, I think the Bourgeois V panels are cool if you need a retail situation where they're going to ship that panel to you and it's going to come to your door. But they are not cheap. They go on sale, so be on the lookout for that. The AC240 being weatherproof, you're kind of paying for that. When 9 times out of 10, you want your power station inside in the first place. I don't presume to know what your situation is. You could be out there in the desert, for all I know, living out of a car, you know what I mean? Like, and need the weatherproof situation. But also look for local panels because you can get on the Facebook Marketplace. You can get on Craigslist, possibly even something like OfferUp. and find, you know, a 300-400 watt panel for $200, $150, $175. There's some 300-watt panels that like 275s that I've seen. He wanted like $65 a piece, and I was debating on trying to get busy. I still think about it from time to time, but it's a struggle for me to buy older panels. But a 275-watt panel for $65 is crazy. It's crazy. Somebody near me is trying to sell Renogy panels, the 320s, for like $250 a piece. I bought a Renogy panel $250 a piece, brand new, like 4 years ago. I be wanting to reach out to people and be like, you probably not gonna sell these for this much, because I'm a helpful guy. And sometimes I reach out to them because I want a deal. And I always tell people, like, look, I want you to be able to sell it for what you want. But if you can't sell it for what you want, supply and demand is a real thing. I'll give you this for it. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I get deals like that sometimes. Okay, moving along here. We at 125. 300 to 2,000 for portable fridges. Okay. I only have the what? To practice with for now in supportable use, but I'm upgrading to a larger power station for the house. Okay. Well, keep us posted, Tia. I mean, you know, bring your questions. That's why it's called Ask Ive. I got you, Ive. I want a smaller fridge too. I have to buy a new one, unfortunately. A fridge is another thing you could get used. Just think about it. Think about it. I know some people don't have the personality to buy stuff off of the marketplace. I get it. I'm not one of those people. Getting a fridge off of the marketplace is kind of wow. You have to be very intentional about that. But it is possible. There's also like, we have like scratch and dent stores. I didn't know that was a thing until I moved up north, but apparently it is. You can always buy a college dorm and run that with a power station, maybe. The only thing is they use about as much power as a big fridge. At least the one I had. I was curious about whether newer fridges were more efficient, but they might be. I wasn't gonna buy one to try it out, but they'll use 100 watts, 125 watts. That's what the big fridge. Guys, calm down, please. Boom, 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 boom. All right, next time let's talk about my bill. If anybody has any more questions, I'm open to it. We'll leave the live kind of open for a couple minutes. I'm looking forward to seeing how we can get with these comms. This stuff is really cool. I'm looking forward to it. This is the super long antenna. Let me see if I can fit it into the frame. Can I? The radio's like right there. Look how long this antenna is on this radio. You can't even fit it. Look at that. Bring it all the way back here. Come into the frame. That's crazy. I don't know that I would use this out on the go, but it's a difference between this antenna and that antenna. Look how tall that is. But the range is much better. I wonder if anybody's on. Let's see. Be catching some medical type folks. Oh, there's nobody on there's an active repeater on here. This is the TID radio TI-H3. This radio's fantastic. Nothing's going on, nothing shaking. It's interesting learning about this stuff. And I think it'll be cool to be able to chop it up, you know, with my homeboy. I say homeboy like we kids. What we gonna eat, baby? Oh, nice. Nice. Hey, God bless you, baby. Yes, it is. Oh, no. I don't have the H8 yet. Those are the H3s. What's up, Al? Smoking tea? Late to the party, as you guys say. Can't be late. You just gotta rewind. Um. Okay. Our two small ones use only 50 watts. Thanks for the update. So apparently, I guess dorm fridges are more efficient now because 50 watts ain't bad. The one we have down there it uses 100 some odd watts. It's bananas. So 50 watts is cool. That's encouraging. I have the EcoFlow Glacier. Also got the new Bluetti fridge. Still have not unboxed it. And a few Iceco fridges and a few huge RV fridges. And the prices vary from 300 to 1200. Yes? Come sit down. I can't come right now, Mama. It's time to be done. They say from the mouth of babes. I really do enjoy them. Okay, nice. So there you go, $300 to $1,200. That's a good question. What are we talking about today? I don't know. I don't even have a thumbnail. I got nothing. I got nothing. I can't tell you. Can somebody? What were we talking about today? Oh no. I'll let that ride. Okay, no, it's the H8. It's the H3. Thanks for all the advice. I'm still learning. Make sure you ask before you spend them coins, Tia. I'm looking for something to reach cross country handheld seriously. I feel like you gotta go ham. You gotta take the test to transmit, but you don't have to take the test to listen. Ham is the thing that's gonna get you the range. I'm doing something. Look, Daddy's on camera. Look. Yeah, I'm on camera. She's still talking about come on. Like what? I don't care. All right, guys. Until next time, I'm gonna let the live sit for a little bit, but y'all be beautiful. I'll be in the chat a little while longer. John, if you're around, make sure you reach out to me in some capacity. Like I'm serious. I got a dub, and my man Wayne said he gonna match it. Oh, thanks, Mark. Mark sent me $15. $15. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Got the email in my inbox. That's dope. Oh, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I should have said this at the top. Please subscribe to the channel. Don't do it for me. Do it for you guys. Because as I get more subscribers, that gives me a little more credibility with these companies, which means I'll get more power stations and stuff, which means I could give more stuff away. I mean, you got to pay for shipping, but you could have the stuff. You can have the stuffs, especially as I get redundant power stations. The one reason why the pet grind coming doesn't necessarily line me up to give away my Sateki is because the Sateki charges over USB-C, and I really enjoy that, and the pet grind does not. So it's not an apples to apples, but it is more capacity, but it's not going to be an upstairs in the house power station. So that doesn't necessarily help me too much. As I get power stations that replace and upgrade older power stations, I can more easily get those out to you guys. That EB70 man sitting over there, that dip is still working well, holding me down. I also have the EB3A. I need to do a walkthrough soon of all my power stations and systems. We talked about it on a live stream, but I need to actually do a walkthrough. If I could get a power station, this is not related to giving them away because the AC60 is going to be mine for a long time. But if I could get a power station to go in that front zone, I would love to be able to get that AC60 and that B80 out of that spot because both of those dips have MPPT charge controllers in them. So that would be a good situation where I could throw out on a panel in a pinch to get some 8mm power in because they both take 8mm. Right now, I have the OOPS downstairs with two solar arrays going into it because it has a dual MPPT. So if the OOPS 1800 ever got full, if the AC60 and the B80 was just as a floater, I could put those down there to get more power and then bring the OOPS 1800 in to power my deep freezers or something like that. Or maybe I'll take the AC60 from Bluetti and the B80 and have that charge up first, right? And then once that's charged, those are easily deployable power stations around the house to power stuff. I love using my Big Blue Cell Power 500, my Oops 600, my OG joint. I love putting my kids' fans on those and using them as night lights or throwing lamps on them because they're 500 watt hours. So whatever I put on them typically lasts. All right, I could keep running my trap, but I'm not. Y'all be beautiful. Until next time, I'm committed to doing live streams every week. I want to get them done on Tuesdays, but I haven't gotten there yet. So we got one on Wednesday. Thanks, Mark, for the coins. I appreciate it. And thanks to anybody who supports the channel financially or this way, watching and liking and commenting. But the coins, they spin nice. I can't spin a like. Thanks for hanging out, Ramblin' Bob. Hopefully some of these folks come to your channel and check you out. Ramblin' Bob Reviews.